So I wanted to take a few minutes with this video to talk about 3 interesting PlayStation 5 stories, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. Now, the stories I wanted to dive into today includes Sony x Batman deal, Sony confirms their next generation console once again, and diving into what we know about the PlayStation 5 Slim, because you guys seem to keep asking me about it across my most recent videos, and I get it, we're going to talk about it. First, yes or no, do you plan on picking up a PlayStation 5 Slim or not? Across multiple videos recently, I've noticed more people ask about any updates on the PlayStation 5 Slim, and I'm assuming this is because reports have this thing pegged to release in a few months this September, so people want to know what's going on. We're going to dive into some of this in the video, but before that, let me know yes or no if you plan on picking up a PlayStation 5 Slim or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, Sony x Batman deal. Reading from Variety, Warner Brothers Discovery is negotiating to sell around half of the storied Warner Studios film and TV music publishing assets for approximately $500 million. 3 sources confirmed to Variety. The news was first reported by Hits. While it's unclear exactly which assets are on the table, one source says that the rights to slightly less than half of the catalog, with a price of around $500 million, are likely to go to a major label, with Sony set to be in the lead. The catalog is believed to include music from such films as Purple Rain, Evita, Sweeney Todd, Rent, several Batman films, and many more titles, as well as songs included in films such as Time Goes By from Casablanca. Iconic titles to be sure, but again, it's unclear exactly which rights are in play. Top attorney Alan Grubman is said to be overseeing the deal for Warner Discovery CEO David Zaslav. So I wanted to cover this because I've seen some of the conversation online where people are thinking this is Sony buying IP rights to create a new Batman movie or game. That's not it. That's not what this is. This is literally just Sony owning old movie and TV music. I'm not sure why Sony wants this and what they're going to do with it, but I assume they have their own plans and probably see some use somewhere. That's pretty much it for this story. It's not Sony getting rights to create new Batman content. Now, diving into the second story of the video, Sony confirms their next generation console once again. Not too long ago, thanks to the Microsoft Activision situation, we found out that the next generation of PlayStation, the PlayStation 6, will be coming sometime after 2027. Well, now we've got another confirmation via a controversial situation. I'm not sure why it's controversial. We'll dive into that. It's pretty funny. Reading from Video Game Chronicle, Sony Interactive Entertainment has said it would withhold details about its next console from Activision if the Call of Duty maker is acquired by Microsoft. During a deposition in April via Axios, Sony Interactive Entertainment boss Jim Ryan told the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, that the company's past collaboration with Activision led to the development of better features on PlayStation consoles that helped the hardware stand out from the competition. But were Activision to be purchased by Microsoft, that partnership would be lost, according to Ryan. We simply could not run the risk of a company that was owned by a direct competitor having access to that information, he told the regulator. As an independent company, Ryan said Activision is incentivized to make great games on all platforms, but that post-acquisition, it would be more concerned with improving the Xbox business than in taking advantage of unique PlayStation 5 features or helping Sony develop better consoles. In a heavily redacted section of Ryan's discussion with the FTC, the executive suggested that Sony's experience of working with Minecraft maker Mojang after Microsoft acquired the studio gave the company cause for concern about doing likewise with Activision. So I'm not sure what the controversy is here, really. People are so quick to jump at Sony's throat for anything when it comes to this deal situation. It's weird. They're literally saying, we don't want to share our next generation console information with our competition. That's really it. Because once Activision gets bought out by Microsoft, they're a part of Microsoft. That's their competition. They also add what they've experienced with Minecraft after being bought out by Microsoft supports their cause for concern when it comes to Activision and them potentially getting bought out by Microsoft as well. So clearly something happened in the Minecraft situation that led Jim Ryan to think this is not going to be a good deal for us if they go with Microsoft, because that's the priority there. Xbox and PC, that's the priority. It's not PlayStation anymore. They don't have the incentive to do that anymore because they're owned by Microsoft. Regardless of what Microsoft wants to say, post acquisition, again, Xbox and PC are more important. Look at Bethesda and Phil Spencer saying exclusivity is on a case by case basis back in 2021, and recently we're hearing pretty much everything is becoming Xbox exclusive from Bethesda, which is all right. It's all right. They own them. It's just clear that post buyout, Xbox becomes more important to that company being bought out. So I don't know why people expect Sony to be comfortable with sharing information like that with their competition, which again, Activision would be if they get bought out by Microsoft. Xbox can also have the same belief when it comes to Bungie or MLB makers Sony San Diego and sharing information about the next Xbox with them. But you guys let me know if you think Sony should share PlayStation 6 information with Activision, even if Xbox bought them out or not. Let me know down in the comments below.
We do not fully understand all that is at work here.
And now diving into the final story of the video, the PlayStation 5 Slim. So I've been asked about the PlayStation 5 Slim more and more recently, so I wanted to take this portion of the video just to go over what we know, and moving forward we can just add additional information to the content of this video, which I assume we should be getting sometime soon. It's almost July and this thing is reportedly set to release in a couple of months. But let's go back to the beginning. The PlayStation 5 Slim was first reported by Tom Henderson last year, stating that Sony would be releasing a PlayStation 5 with a detachable disk drive that plugs into the PlayStation 5 via an extra USB-C port on the back of this new console. The disk drive won't ruin the aesthetics of the hardware, meaning Sony would be making a slimmer design for the overall machine. So when you add this thing on, it doesn't look like a bulk machine, like this horrible bulk machine. Hardware-wise, the PlayStation 5 Slim will be like your current PlayStation 5. This isn't the PlayStation 5 Pro. It's not going to be more powerful than what your PlayStation 5 currently is. At most, this thing will probably be more efficient than the current PlayStation 5 models. Sony has been gradually decreasing the internal hardware size of the PlayStation 5, like moving from 7nm to 6nm chips, allowing them to have a smaller cooling solution in the most recent PlayStation 5 model from late last year. This new PlayStation 5 is meant to replace the existing digital and disk drive PlayStation 5 models of the PlayStation 5, so Sony could just have one model in the future and just reduce overall production cost of making these consoles. This new disk drive can also be purchased in a bundle or separately in the future. If you decide, hey, I want a disk drive, then you can just buy it later on and add it to this new PlayStation 5. Apparently, the disk drive won't work with the current digital PlayStation 5, but could potentially work with them via a future software update. So if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because we'll be covering that here whenever we hear more information on it, as we do with all updates in regards to the PlayStation platforms. As for a release date, this thing is currently reported to be releasing this September. As for the announcement, this is where we kind of go past the information that we know so far. Looking at when this thing could be announced, I originally thought that Sony would just do a PlayStation blog post like they did with the PlayStation VR 2, but for some reason, Sony had the Project Q of all things and their new PlayStation headphones front and center at their last PlayStation showcase. I'm not sure why PlayStation VR 2 didn't get similar love, but it is what it is. I'm not going to dive down there. Considering this thing is meant to release in September, then Sony would want to announce it sometime soon, I assume. But in terms of big events, we've heard rumors about a potential second showcase, but people are guessing that's probably going to happen in September like it did in 2020 and in 2021. There's also the potential that a Spider-Man 2 State of Play will happen in August, because we heard Tony Todd, voice of Venom, say that there's going to be a big marketing push in August for Spider-Man 2, so that could be a State of Play in August. So an August State of Play and a September showcase. Looking at the potential September showcase, Sony could share more information about Project Q, which is reported to be releasing in November. But where does this leave the PlayStation 5 Slim? Looking at the schedule, you'd think Sony would want to announce this thing in July to give people time before it actually launches in September. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. By all means, Sony could just drop a blog post in late August and sell it in September and people will still buy it. either way, we're a couple of months away from this thing, so we should be hearing something sometime soon, I would assume, considering it's supposedly releasing this September. But you guys let me know if you think we'll hear something in July, or will Sony just announce this thing on a PlayStation blog post like they did with the PlayStation VR 2? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is the body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with Bring On the Slim. If you're interested or excited to see what we get with this new PlayStation 5 Slim, destroy the comment section with Bring On the Slim, and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.